Welcome back to day 36 of our one pose a day for 100 days. Today's practice is called gate pose or Padangusthasana, and this is a great pose to help stretch the side of the body. We're going to add a little sequence to it that also is going to help strengthen the core in a little side plank pose. So optional chair if you don't want to come down to the floor or be on a knee, and optional blocks. Also a blanket if we are on the floor on our knees, just to help pad the knees. All right, grab your props if you want to put it on pause. Let's get started. Sitting up nice and tall, take a nice breath with your arms out to the side, taking a nice inhale. And full exhale, release the arms down. Continuing, raise the head, look up towards the hands, nice stretch of the spine. Exhale, lowering chin to chest. Letting yourself arrive to your one pose practice today. Let's take one more as you draw the palms overhead. Exhaling, palms together and down. Okay, as always, I'm going to demonstrate first and then we'll do our practice together. So I'll demonstrate the chair in case if you don't like being on the knees or there's an injury there. Or just coming down to the floor. But remember, there's some bonus videos out there how to practice getting down to the floor. So give those a try if you've not been to the floor in a while. All right, sitting in the chair, I'm sitting a little bit forward in the chair. I'm going to take my right leg, mirroring you, out to the side. I'm turning my toes so they're pointing in the direction of the long edge of the mat, but if that's not good on the knee or the hip, you can turn the toes slightly out. Just have the whole foot nice and grounded onto the floor. Now, if it doesn't go all the way out to the side, you can bend the knee a little bit. Again, just pressing that foot gently into the floor. This left knee is bent with the foot on the floor right under the knee, and that's your stability and grounding. So you're pressing that foot down to the floor, sitting up nice and tall. And I'll take my right hand right in that hip crease, giving me nice support. Always remembering to keep this whole right side of the body nice and elongated. Taking my left arm out to the side, I take a nice inhale as I reach it up, lengthen through both sides of the body, and bend over to your right. This hand in the hip is helping to press down so I'm not crunching or compressing my lower spine. If any of that's happening, just back out. You can always keep the hand on the hip or the rib cage if that shoulder is not happy. Turning, looking slightly towards that left arm. Now ground down through that left foot, and if I slide my hand gently down the leg, listen into the back. If that's not comfortable, bring that hand back into the hip crease, and we'll hold here and take several breaths. And then you'll continue on the other side. So when we do the sequence with a little side plank, for those in the chair, you'll just stay and hold in the chair rather than trying to do a little side plank option. Okay, demonstrating to the floor. If you're going to continue in the chair, you could speed forward and move into the practice. So those on the floor, we'll take our blocks. One block out to the right side. Actually, let's take it to the left. My apologies. So we're doing the same leg. Standing on my knees on the padded blanket, extend that right leg out to the side, just like we did in the chair, directly in line with your hip, your shoulder, and the toes are pointing again towards the long edge of the mat, unless that's just straining for the ankle or the knee. Ground down through that whole right foot. Bring that right hand into the hip crease and extend that left arm out to the side. Same idea, you're lengthening both sides of the body as you bend over to the side. If that feels comfortable on the back, you can slide that hand down the leg. Keep lengthening as you reach to the side. Now in some versions you'll see where you can fold forward over that leg, turn the toes slightly out. You're turning the chest towards the leg. Personally, I like the side bend, but as long as that's not compressing or crunching the lower spine. And then as we come back up, we're going to take our left hand onto the block You want the block long ways, so they're giving your space for your palm to fit on the block with the fingertips pointing away. Stacking the shoulders in line with the hips, the knee, and then option here, so you're thinking of energetically lifting that lower part of the side body up towards the ceiling, so you're getting some nice strength. Option to turn that foot under the body, giving you some nice stability, strengthening the core practice. So we'll stay here and hold in this position. An option to take that arm straight up to the ceiling, raise the head looking upward if that's okay for the neck, and we'll pause and hold for several breaths. So coming on out of it, set up for whatever position you would like, whether on floor or the chair, and let's get started together. So starting either in the chair or on the floor on your knees, take that right leg straight out to the side, standing nice and tall or sitting nice and tall. For those in the chair, you're really grounding down through that left foot. Right hand's in the right hip crease. Take that left arm out to the side. Take a nice inhale. Remember to lengthen through both sides of the body. Exhale as you bend over to your right. Turn the head, look slightly towards that left arm. And let's pause here, breathing into the stretch, checking in with your body, making sure you're not feeling any compression, crunching in your lower back. If you are, come out of the pose until you don't feel that any longer. Now you can either keep that right hand in the hip crease or slide it down the leg. Continuing your nice full breath as you bend over to the side. Let's take 3 more nice full breaths here. Really breathe down that whole left side of the body, the rib cage. On your next inhale, reach up through that left hand and exhale. So if you're in the chair, take a break and maybe continue with that side stretch gate pose on your right side. If you're on the floor, let's bring the left hand to the block, fingertips pointing away from you. The shoulder is right under the wrist is right under the shoulder. Roll that top shoulder, that right shoulder back, so shoulders are stacked or in alignment with your hips, your knees. And then pause here, pressing through down to the block, getting out of that shoulder joint, giving some space there, and think of that whole lower side of the body, your left side, lifting up towards the right side. Now adding that extra little stability challenge, turning, rotating that foot right under the body, keeping everything in line. And then try not to allow the head to hang. Lift the head so it's nice and neutral. Your option to turn and look up towards the ceiling and maybe raise that top arm. Really reaching as you press the block away. Pausing here now for a few rounds of breath. Really energetically lifting the whole body up towards the ceiling. Strengthening the core. Nice easeful breaths. And then when you're ready, release. Bring the hand back to the hip. Turn that leg back. Press into the block. And come to stand nice and tall, bringing that right knee in. All right, let's switch sides. So if you're in the chair, sitting up tall, take your left leg out to the side. If you're on the floor, have it nice and in line with your hips, your shoulders. Maybe try turning the foot, the toes towards the top edge of your mat. Otherwise, it turned out just slightly. Have the whole foot press into the floor and then lengthen the spine, getting nice and tall. We'll bring that left hand into the hip crease, right palm out, reaching up. Take your nice inhale. As you exhale to the side bend, you can turn slightly, looking towards that right arm. That hand in the hip is just gently pressing in to give you some nice space in the lower spine. Remember, if you're feeling any discomfort, pain, crunching in the lower back, back out of it. Taking several nice breaths. If the back feels okay. Slide that hand down the leg. And then breathing into that whole right side of the body, the rib cage, between the ribs and the hips. Let's take a few more nice breaths as we hold our gate pose. And then as you inhale, reach up through the right fingertips. Exhale as you release. Okay, if you're in the chair, take a break. If we're on the floor, let's set up for our side plank pose, a little modified side plank pose. And then if you're in the chair, come back into gate pose again, practicing that side stretch. So right hand's on the block, fingertips pointing away. Wrist is under my shoulder. Rotate so the shoulders are stacked in line with your hips. And then thinking about energetically lifting that whole right side of your body up towards the ceiling. If you want to add the stability challenge, turn, pivot on that knee, bringing the foot in line under the hips. And then you can turn the head slightly, optional, up towards the ceiling. Raise that top arm, really reaching, press the block away. Pause there. Just noticing, check in with the body. Think of it energetically lifting up towards the ceiling. As you pause, let's take a few more nice full breaths, strengthening the whole core. One more. And then gently release, bring the hand back to the hip. Turn the foot back behind you, press into the block. Come to stand tall on the knees. And then your choice, let's take a nice little, actually, child pose. Let's use the blocks today. So you can bring your palms onto the block, knees on your blanket. If you're using the chair, do a nice ski jumper pose, palms on the chair seat. Step your feet back, bend your knees. Press your hips back towards the heels. My palms are just reaching away from me as I let my hips sit back. Keep the head nice and level between the ears, gazing down at your floor. Take some nice extended breaths as you allow the spine to lengthen and release. Really nice offset for the side bending that we just did in our gate pose to realign the spine. And when you're ready, let's come back up. Find yourself either propped in a nice seated position. You can also sit with your heels or your hips on your heels, kneeling. If cross-leg pose is not for you today, or sitting back in your chair. Feel that nice length in your spine from your tailbone to the crown of your head. Let's take a nice closing breath together. As you inhale, draw your palms overhead. Exhaling, palms together and down. And I thank you for joining this one pose practice today, practicing our gate pose. Have a wonderful day. I'd love any feedback or comments, and I'll see you tomorrow.